And welcome back, everybody, to another Q&A on Monday night, man. We're just hanging out. We just got done streaming the Buccaneers and Houston game. Buccaneers coming up with a great win against a pretty solid Houston Texans team. Didn't have the best night for the offenses. They started out hot, and then they kind of slowed down in the middle of the game, but then started picking up some points there late in the fourth. So Houston able to come back at first, got it to a 5-point lead after struggling for a good chunk of the second and third and almost fourth quarter. But woo! Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, man, able to drive down the field, scoring the game-winning touchdown with 6 seconds left, and coming away with a 1-point victory over C.J. Stroud and the Texans, improving to 2-0. Houston, unfortunately, falling to 0-2. Unless you're David and you're very happy that they're 0-2. So, yeah, man. But, David, woo! What's going on, brother? But, yeah, man, I think we were talking about Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders. Very young team. They obviously picked up Geno Smith from Seattle there. So, that's once again, another good piece for a franchise that's trying to build a winning culture. Is Geno Smith one of the top 5 quarterbacks? No. Is he a top 10 quarterback? Not really, but he's a top half. You know, he's one of the top, I would say, anywhere between 11 to 16 quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's looking pretty solid, man. He is looking pretty solid. And then on top of that, they drafted Ashton Genty, running back that they can build their offense around. You know, a couple of years ago, they traded for Devontae Adams, and it did not work out. Basically, after 2.5 years, they shipped him off to the Jets. And now he's in L.A. with the Rams, catching touchdowns from Matthew Stafford. So, unfortunately, that plan did not work out. They did not win games with Adams, but with a quarterback, with a good tight end in Bowers, who also had a heck of a season for them last year, and now with the running back that can catch out of the backfield, pick up good yardage in the running game, and is just an overall great running back. That's a good offense to build around that can win you games. And if you compare that with a defense that should be improved, that Pete Carroll knows how to build. He did that in Seattle. He did that at his time at USC, I believe, as well as like other. I think he was a head coach for. I think he was a head coach for the Jets early in the 2000s or maybe the late 90s. But basically everywhere he's gone, he's made that team better. He's been able to improve the team overall, and I think that's what the Raiders are looking for: a steady hand that is not flashy. He's not Daniels from the Patriots, who is going to try to alienate almost everybody on the team because they're not doing it the Patriot way. So you're just going to be able to, and he's not Antonio, who was a great player, probably a great motivator. Players liked him, but he maybe wasn't the right coach for them. But, yeah. I think if Pete can change the attitude and the culture of the Raiders team, then they have a chance to build a better future. As a Chiefs fan, though, the Raiders should just lose, baby. Oh my goodness, man. You're using Al Davis's saying against him? Oh man. The disrespect. I love it. I love the pettiness. Chris Lasso, what's going on? Good evening, brother. How you doing? I don't have my shades on me, man, but what's up? But yeah, man, we're just hanging out. I was thinking about doing the Raiders game and stuff like that, but unfortunately, I got to work early in the morning. This game will not probably be done until about 1 o'clock my time. But in the future, we might do a doubleheader on Monday night. I don't see why not, but wasn't prepared. I don't have a thumbnail. I don't have a scoreboard, so we're just gonna hang out as some of us are watching the game. But yeah, man. So yeah, dude, Chris, what do you think? Pete Carroll in Las Vegas. Do you think he can change the culture over there? But yeah, David, man, that's vicious, dog. Just lose, baby. Oof. Al Davis is like he's gonna come out of that grave and be like, hey man, don't butcher my saying. But yeah, man, that's still one of the best, just one of the best quotes in NFL history. Just win, baby. Al Davis was a weird guy, man. He was antagonistic for no good reason at times, but when you look at the history, man, it's tough to argue with some of the stuff that he was a guy that clearly was always going to defend uh, the Raiders. Was sometimes good for the players. He was still an owner. He was still going to try to you know take advantage of that. There was always a battle between ownership and players, but he was a guy that was willing to push the boundaries of where the NFL was comfortable with and said, no, we got to do more. I think at some point time did pass Al Davis, but for when early in his tenure, man, he was definitely quote unquote a maverick of the NFL, and I don't know. I like when a guy is just antagonistic to a larger corporation. I gotta respect that. Al Davis was always battling the NFL, always willing to just be a jerk to big corporations like the NFL, and he was just like he's like, yeah, everything is running fine, but you know what? I can just be you know, I could just complain about something just because I can. So I gotta respect it. Justin Herbert throwing it down the field, trying to get it to just Johnston there, incomplete. All right, man. If you guys are just joining us, we're just hanging out for Monday night here after the first game. We're kind of watching the doubleheader. We'll talk about it for sure as things go along, but we're just hanging out. In the future, we'll probably do a doubleheader on Monday night. I gotta make sure I prepare for it. I was actually not prepared to because I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to get this game on my side, so I didn't want to promise anything and then be like, oh, I can't. So next time we'll be definitely prepared for a doubleheader on Monday night. So yeah, so we're just hanging out. We're just talking about football, kind of what's been happening around the league the last couple of weeks, and anything really. I mean, we're just talking about Al Davis, or at least I was. Raiders secondary, man, they're looking strong right now. They're driving on these balls, man. They're not letting these receivers just with a lot of space. They're being physical. Herbert takes the snap here, looking, pressured. He's going to run, breaks the pocket, trying to find some space, and will be tackled after a gain of 5. But yeah, man, if you guys are watching, if you guys are hanging out, man, please share. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, man. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers before October, man. We're getting close. We're getting close. Man, you guys excited to watch? Is anybody watching Tron Ares when it comes out, man? It looks good. It looks like the CGI looks everything looks on point, but I don't know, man. Jared Leto is a guy that I wish would be just stop being put into movies, man. I don't think he's a good actor. He's always just a little too weird. His character seemed to be the same kind of guy. I don't know the guy personally, but he seems like a weirdo too. Yeah, I just wish people would move on from the guy. It's That's really my only holdup with that movie, whether I'll watch it or not. But let me know. Let me know if you're excited to watch that one. Also, did anybody watch Sinners, man? I watched that in theaters, dude. Oh my god, dude, the music in that movie, man, was just killer. The acting, the story, everything was great about it, man. But dude, the music was just phenomenal, man. It was such a dang good movie. Oh, they should have kept the camera on the cheerleaders a bit longer. As for Tron movie, it's Disney, so I have no interest in giving them money. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, agreed. Not keeping my hopes up. Yeah, man. That's the biggest reason, man. Is I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto, man. He was a weird addition to what was it, Blade Runner 2049, which was a really good movie. Great acting. I love the colors, man. Um, I thought that was great, but he was just a awkward, weird addition that just didn't seem to go anywhere. And I'm just like, why do we keep putting this guy in movies, man? He just doesn't do anything for me. So Gino dropping back, pressured. He's gonna stay on his feet somehow and get the ball out. Finds his tight end there. Holy cow, that was a wild play. Yeah, dude. Yeah, like Disney has made some stinkers, especially in the MCU over the last couple years. But the good thing is there's still some really good movies being made. I usually go for like directors. Like if a director has been putting out some good movies, it's tough to say no to that. Like Denis Villeneuve, the guy just hasn't missed, in my opinion, with his movies. Like Arrival is one of my favorite movies, man. Great sci-fi, great movie, great acting. It's a little bit of a high snap there for Geno Smith. Gets it out to his receiver there, number 89. And it's going to be a fourth down. Punt is coming up for the Raiders. Yeah, let's look into JJ's McCarthy's injury here, man. Granted, I don't think that was the reason he sucked on Monday or on Sunday night. Um, that might have played a factor towards the end, but that kid was struggling with the pressure, man. Really, really struggling with the pressure. So yeah, so he's already been ruled out for week 3. Not officially, technically, but from what it looks like, he is definitely not going to be playing next week. And they say that he could be out for up to the next 2 to 3 weeks. So he probably won't be coming back until the Vikings get a bye. I think they get a bye in week 5. So yeah, they go to the Bengals, who are also missing Joe Burrow. Then they have Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Then they have the Browns, and then they have a bye week. So yeah, week 3, week 4, week 5. So week 6 is their bye week, and then you could argue that should be enough time for McCarthy to come back, and then dang, his first game back, if he does come back after the bye, will be against the Eagles. Then he got the Chargers, Lions, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Seahawks. Dang, dude, and the Commanders. Dude, that is a rough stretch of games. Yeah, and let me see here. Carson Wentz is the backup over there in Minnesota. I mean, we haven't seen Carson Wentz in like 2 years. I don't think he's really started a game or played a significant time since like 2022, 2023. Obviously, it's a far cry from his days in Philly, but I could see him winning at least one of these next 3 games. You know, could they beat the Bengals? Sure. If they keep the points low, I don't think they can beat the Steelers, though that defense for the Steelers is not as formidable as it used to be in years past. And then on top of that, the Browns have a pretty good front seven, but that offense and that secondary are very suspect, man. You never know what you're going to get with the Browns. Some games they can barely score 10 points, other games they're going to be putting up 30 to 40. So it's not consistently, but it can happen. So here's to hoping Carson Wentz decides to show how well he can throw pick sixes. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. There you go. Lad McConkey with a nice catch. There we go. Helping out the fantasy there. Let's go. I should have started Justin Herbert this week, man. Josh Allen did not have a great week. They got a big win, but he did not score a whole lot. So yeah, man. I mean, the season is not over for Minnesota. They could easily go on a run. Carson Wentz has had a history of playing well in the league. It's been a long time, but you know, if he stays within the system, Kevin O'Connell is a good coach. They have some decent weapons for Carson Wentz. They have good receivers. Um, the offensive line though is going to be a problem because that they spent a lot of money and they changed a lot of their starters on that offensive line, and it does not look like they improved. I don't want to say they got worse, but they did not improve. Yeah, they got what, 2 guys from the Colts. One of them, I think Will Fry signed a, was it like a 3 year or 4 year contract for $88 million, and he struggled last night. He had a rough game. Herbert under pressure, rolling. He's gonna get a first down and will be in Las Vegas territory. Yeah, man. But Carson Wentz, I remember in his time with the Colts, he didn't have a terrible season, but it was the not the amount of turnovers, but it was the turnovers at critical points. That was the frustrating part for Colts fan. I remember that. And then his time with the Commanders, he definitely looked like he was a guy that was on the downturn of his career. So yeah, I don't know, man. I could easily see the Vikings somehow going 3-0 against the next three teams, but then I can also see them going 0-3. there's like there's like man, I don't know. They're such a weird team. Their season could be over already, but it's just gonna take time. But yeah. It's either way. It's not good. McCarthy has not looked good. He had one great quarter, and that was it. He's played 4 quarters, and he's looked pretty awful in 7 of them. He already missed all of last year with an injury. Now he's going to miss close to a month, if not more, this year. Like, that's a lot of time, man. There is very few quarterbacks that miss that much time due to injury. It's one thing if he's on the bench and he's developing. We saw Jordan Love sit for 3 years. He did not start. He started one game in his first 3 years. That was it. Otherwise, he was on the bench, didn't really do a whole lot. There was flashes when he was on the field at times, but nothing, never able to unseat Rodgers. But JJ McCarthy, it's been injuries. And when he's been playing, he has not looked good. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think of JJ McCarthy. Do you think it's too early to tell that this kid is probably not going to develop? Or should Minnesota just count this year as kind of a lost cause and maybe look a little bit forward to 2026? Lad McConkey with a tough catch over the middle, getting the first down. Let's go. No, there's a flag. Frickin' Chargers. Herbert breaks the pocket, makes a man miss, and will slide for a first down. Takes a hit, though. Yeah, so looks like there's going to be a flag roughing the passer, I believe, or unnecessary roughness, personal foul. Yeah, and those are the plays you got to eliminate, man. You got to. And he led with his helmet too. Just a dumb decision. I love that the Chargers have like one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen playing fullback, man. Matlock. Also, great freaking name, Matlock, at a fullback position. Perfect. The only way it would have been better if he was called Meatloaf. Boo! Actually, yeah, probably. Also, it's the Raiders and they're notoriously dirty. Hey man, it's a pirate's life for me, man. You never, come on, pirates are grimy. That's the whole point of. That's why they're pirates, man. They're dirty scoundrels. Too many men on the field for the Raiders. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Raiders doing a heck of a job, man, bringing the rookie running back for a loss. Raiders are having difficulty counting past 11. And they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11A. 11B. All good. Still 11. Come on, throw it to Lad McConkey. Throw it to Lad McConkey. Ah. Keenan Allen. Boo. Boo. He's already scored too many touchdowns in his career. I don't like it. That was a nice catch, though. That was a nice play. Nice play. Chris, we're in the same boat. Started McConkey, absolutely, man. He was yeah, my starting two are St. Brown for Detroit and then CD Lamb. And I was gonna pick Jacobs. There was two running backs after I picked up St. Brown, and I was like, oh man, I just have to wait for these runs because there was a run of receivers. That's why I picked CD Lamb and St. Brown. Saw the receivers going off the board early, and I was like, all right, man, I just gotta for the next you know next time I'm gonna be picking, I'm gonna start picking up running backs. And then Jacobs went, Alshon Gently went, and there was one more. I can't remember who it was, and I was like, holy cow, man! I was like, I'm not gonna try to overdraft, a running back just because I need one. So I was like, you know what? Let me go with Lad McConkey. Had a great rookie season. He's gonna be catching a lot of passes. We're doing PPR this year in my fantasy league. So I was like, you know what, man? Let's go. Let's just be extra strong at wide receiver. That way I don't have to worry about it. And then I hit the running backs later. We already talked about who is a better Allen. Allen. We did settle the Allen argument, but these people always bringing up other Allens. You know, always bringing up, Josh, the other Josh, that guy named Tim. There's so many Allens. You got Alan Grant from that dinosaur movie. What's it called? Triassic Park? Cretaceous Park? Oh, nice little end around there for the Raiders. Yeah, Chris, how's your fantasy team going, man? I went 1-0 in week one, but there's a chance I might lose this week, man. I only have McConkey left, and the guy I'm going up against has three guys. Actually, I could probably see what happened. He had two guys in that Buccaneers game that were playing. Right now, I am ahead by barely by 12 points. Keenan, Josh, Tim. Chris, I sat. Oh, it's your ass. Better get it right, Park. Of course, of course, man. Of course, Spielberg and his classic Jurassic. Get it right. Yeah, I think that came out in what 1993, right? Big hit, big hit. People weren't sure, man. That title was a little, it was a little long, a little aggressive, but you know what, man? It's considered as a classic nowadays. So, oh, yeah, my matchup has Genty and Bowers. So I'm only up by 12. I'm just hoping McConkey, man, if he can give me like 50 points, six catches, and maybe a touchdown, I could survive this. But who knows, man? It's gonna be tough. He did great this week, though. We'll see how they do with no Burrow. That is true. Yeah, man. Cincinnati is. I mean, they have a good backup, man. I always forget his name, to be honest with you. I remember it was a couple of years ago. He was with the Vikings. They cut him, and then he got picked up by Cincinnati. And then a couple of weeks later, or during the season, he ended up getting a chance to go up against the Vikings. And man, dude, he freaking lit them up. Ooh, nice defensive, nice right there, man. Chargers breaking up a pass. Jake Browning, that's who it was. Jesus. I was like, why am I thinking of Burrow? I'm like, what, the last name is not Burrow, but it was close. And yeah, it's JB. Still JB. Joe Burrow, Jake Browning, JB. I know there's talk of Cincinnati trying a trade for like Kirk Cousins or something like that. I don't think trading for Kirk Cousins at any point is going to make your team better. Like if this was back in 2019, sure, yeah, trade for Kirk Cousins. Give up a second or a third or whatever. Um, yeah, that'll help. But yeah, no, Kirk Cousins. It's been a couple years, since he's been a good quarterback. Thank you. There you go, Chris. There you go, Jake Browning. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, but yeah, man, Jake Browning. Let me see here. Was Jake not drafted, huh? It doesn't even say that he's an undrafted guy. Yeah, okay, there you go. Undrafted for the Vikings. And then he's been with Cincinnati since he left Minnesota in 2021. Holy cow. Holy tip drill on that freaking last play there. Well, then, as a Chiefs fan, I think that the Bengals should trade for Kirko Cousins. Oh, big explosive play for the Raiders down that left seam. Gino, man, hitting his receiver in stride. Hot dang. Hot dang, hot dang. Yeah, but Jake Browning, man, his career stats: 14 touchdowns, 10 picks. Um, what was it? I read. No, sorry, I watched Rich Eisen say that Jake Browning is arguably the best backup quarterback in the NFL, and it could be like he's better than like a third of the starters in the NFL. I don't think that's true. He's had a couple good games for sure. I think it was that year that he first took over for Joe Burrow when he got hurt. He had a good stretch of games, but then towards the end, man, it was rough because that's what the NFL does, man. Once they get film on you, defensive coordinators are paid a lot of money to just focus on how to stop quarterbacks on and offensive weapons. And yeah, Jake Browning had a good 2 to 3 weeks, and then he looked very much like a backup quarterback. So I don't know. I don't agree. I don't. There's a few backup quarterbacks that should and could be starters in the NFL, but you have to still think about like, yeah, they're probably better than JJ McCarthy, but JJ has a lot of upside. He's younger. There's more potential there. We know what Jake Browning is. He's 29 years old. He's been in the league for a while. Let me see here. Chris, better than Tua. Yeah, Tua has. It seems like he has regressed, man. There was a couple seasons ago where he looked like he was on pace to be at least a top 10 quarterback for sure, and was kind of approaching, I don't want to say top 5, but top 7, things like that. Like you could put him in there and be like, yeah, you could build a franchise around Tua. But over the last 2 or 3 years, man, though the stuff, I don't know if it's the concussions, I don't know if it's the hits that are taking a toll, man, but he has just regressed as a passer, man. He's regressed as a quarterback. He's making mistakes that you don't expect a guy that is that highly paid, that has been in the league, that has played at a certain level for a little bit of time to make those decisions, man. It sucks, man, and hopefully he is healthy. Hopefully he stays healthy. And when he decides not to play anymore, it's his decision, man. I don't want him to get hurt and then it's forced on him. So, but yeah, man, Tua has not played well. It's been a couple seasons. Yeah, he still has a couple games where he looks good, but then it's long stretches of really rough play, and that's that whole offense too. It's the whole freaking offense. Tua just doesn't have it. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't have it. Agreed. Dave. Yeah, no, I agree. It's I think there was like a there was like a landmark Supreme Court case. They were talking about a specific thing that I can't name on YouTube, but a judge said he's like, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I see it. And but yeah, Tua is just there's just something missing. There's just something that's not there is keeping that just is keeping him from being a guy, a Joe Burrow, um, Aaron Rodgers, things like that, man. There's just something that's missing. In my opinion, and you could say I'm biased, but I think Jordan Love has that. There are times where clearly Jordan Love looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he plays long stretches at that level. I will even say Justin Herbert, who is you could say that he's hasn't lived up to the hype at times. There are times where he looks like the guy, and yeah, Tua just there's just something there, man. There's just something that's not there. Oh, bad snap, hit him right, hit it. The center hit his own ass on that one, and he didn't do a good job of blocking the defender either, man. Dang. There you go. Keep kicking field goals, Raiders. I don't need you scoring touchdowns here. But yeah, man. Especially it's gonna be so weird, man. Joe Burrow has had so many freaking injuries throughout his career, man. Clearly one of the best quarterbacks in the game, without question, when he's healthy. But man, dude, his rookie year was cut short. What was it like? I think it was like his third year or fourth year. It was cut short. And then like 2 years ago, you know, he's a guy that has won comeback player of the year twice now because of injuries. Because when he comes back and he's healthy, he plays so damn well. And now he's going to be out for what looks like months, if not almost the entire regular season. So yeah, man, it sucks, man, to see a guy that talented that just cannot stay healthy. He's part of an organization that just seems to not want to win. Like the every couple years, every 2 years, if not almost every year, there seems to be an issue with one of their star players because of a contract dispute or because of just something. And Cincinnati ownership just does everything they can to make the matter worse. They say the wrong things, they do the wrong things, and then players just end up leaving. It's absolutely wild. David Herbert has a bad case of charging. Very true. But I respect him as a quarterback. As a Chiefs fan, I hope he loses 90% of his games, but doesn't get hurt. There you go. That's when you know you're a good football fan. You're like, I don't want him to get hurt. I just want him to suck. No, I can feel that sentiment for sure, man. I can definitely feel that sentiment. Yeah, unfortunately, for going back to the Tua thing and even just overall Miami, I think they're just gonna have to blow that whole thing up, man. It's not working. A couple years ago, it looked like they were gonna be one of the best teams in football, and then once they got to the playoffs, once they played in cold games, they just got ripped apart, and they have just not been the same since losing those games. Every single year, it gets worse and worse and worse, and they still have basically the same team. The defense sure for sure has lost weapons for sure, but the offense for the most part is the same. They still have the same receivers: Waddle, Tyreek. You know they've added Achan. Um, the offensive line is not great, but it has improved in spots. but it just seems to not. It just seems to getting worse and worse, man. And I think the locker room is very much close to just kind of tuning out. And you see that. You see that with when you're not having consistent success, or the pendulum is just not, or the meter is just not being pushed forward. Eventually, players just check out. You know, they need to hear a new voice. They need to hear something different, and it sucks. It starts at the GM level. Needs a reset. Absolutely. Yep. 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 Herbert finds McConkey. Let's go. Nice job. Keep on targeting the little guy. Absolutely, man. Yeah, Miami just needs a restart, man. I think you can still keep some of the players there, like Achan. I think you could build a pretty decent offense around him. Not completely, but he's a good weapon to have, especially if you're a young quarterback. If I'm Miami, I try to see if I can trade Tua, or just cut him. I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna want to trade for him. Even if you do, you're not gonna get a whole lot of compensation. But I think you can start selling some of those pieces for some future picks. Herbert trying to target Johnston and incomplete. See, that's what happens when you don't target McConkey, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Look at that, man. Lad McConkey wide open, literally running to the end zone. Wide open. Come on, man. I got to see Tua play in -degree weather. It wasn't good. No, man. If it's the game that I saw, I don't think I streamed that game. I think that was before I was streaming. But yeah, man, I watched that game. The Chiefs game. Yeah, that was an ugly, ugly game for Miami, man. They looked uncomfortable. They looked in pain, and they just looked outmatched from the very beginning. And Chris, I was at that game too. Oh man, it was so cold. Oh man, dude. Yeah, man. Living in Wisconsin, man, it's tough up here, man. And when you live in cold weather, man, you learn that there's a such thing as cold, and then there's real cold. Like, I have a couple of family members that live in Texas, and when like it hits like 50 degrees or 40 degrees, they're like, oh my god, dude, they're wearing like full on scarves and jackets and winter caps. I'm like, dude, that is a perfect time to just go out, wear a nice little sweater, maybe some sweats, and just go out for a walk, man. Go for a walk. You might even take a nap at the park in like 45-degree weather. It'd be nice. 50-degree weather, oh, might hit the lake as well. And then it starts to get to the 30s and 20s. Still very comfortable. Even if it's a little windy, it's a little bit of snow, that's perfectly fine. 10-degree weather, still pretty solid. A little uncomfortable, but no, not too bad. 0 degrees, you're like, all right, we gotta start preparing for something. And then once you get into the negatives, it's still not terrible. But if there's wind, oh my god, that hurts the bones. That's when it's the worst, man. Once you get some wind at negative degree weather, that wind chill, dog. Mm. Worst weather I've been in, I am a Florida man. Yeah, sounds about right, man. Yeah, that's no good. I'm from KC area, so I had 6 layers available to wear, but man, somewhere around +5, you just can't stay warm very easily. No, man. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, man, and that's the one thing people make a mistake of when they think that when it's gonna be super cold. People think they're like, oh, I just need to wear a big burly coat. No, man, you gotta wear layers. You gotta have a long sleeve, another long sleeve. Then you gotta put like something like a vest, cover the center. Then you do a jacket. Then you can maybe add a scarf if you want to, add a little add a little color to the, you know, little style to the cold to the warmth. And if you want, definitely wear a hat. You know, you gotta keep the hair, you gotta keep the head nice and warm. But yeah, you gotta add layers, man. Thin layers, loose layers. Traps in the heat. I was using a raincoat as a windbreaker. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I've always said, man, the worst things about winter are the wind and the ice. Literally, it could be -5 degrees. If there's no wind and the sun is out and there's no ice on the ground, it's great. Am I super comfortable? No. Do I want to stay outside for half an hour? Absolutely not. But I could walk around for like 10 minutes in -5 degree weather. If I had like some decent layers on, yeah, I'd be fine. But dude, if it's like cold and windy, dog, oh no. I can barely pump gas when it's windy. A nice run by Genty. Boo! Boo! I need them to focus on stopping Genty. Everything to stop Genty, alright? I'm up by less than 9 points now, man. If Herbert would have hit McConkey running down the middle of the field for that touchdown, that'd be in good shape. Was Genty on your opponent's fantasy team? Yes, he is. Yeah, yep. They have Genty and Burrows. Is it Burrows? Yeah, Burrows. The only good thing is that it looks like Burrows is limited. I know he was injured. He was questionable to start this game, so I think he's on the snap count for the most part. But um, but yeah, Genty is he's the guy that can make or break my fantasy matchup right now because I don't think Burrows is going to be able to make up the difference. Knock on wood. But so yeah, I gotta make the Chargers need to focus on Genty, man. Don't worry about Geno Smith, all right? Don't worry about anybody else. Just focus on Genty. And then Herbert just needs to open his eyes and hit Lad McConkey for a couple touchdowns, all right? I'm a simple man. I'm not asking for much. All right, Gino takes the snap. Oh, gets blown up in the backfield, man. Heck of a job by this Chargers defense. They're looking good at stopping the run, man. They're playing a lot better against the run this year. That was a helmet Doinky doink. Absolutely, man. Hey, they say use your head. You know, it's a heads up play. He was ahead of the play there. Um, something pun with a helmet. Dang it. See, trying to make it three for three, but I couldn't. I couldn't think of a third one. Damn it. I almost made it. Making it helmet on the receiver to. Oh snap! That was a good one. I liked it. I liked it. I mean, better than what I came up with, for sure. Heck yeah. All right, Herbert in the shotgun here, looking. Finds Keenan Allen. And that was a run for the Chargers there. I think they're going to pick up. Actually, no, it's going to be third and short. But they had the first down there. Woo! Breaks a couple tackles to the 20, 25, 30. Delmarion Hampton, the rookie, man. Making some plays, making some plays. There we go. Haha, some Raiders personnel guy fell down and go boom when Hampton went out of bounds. I mean, I hope the guy's okay. Oh man. I mean, as long as you landed on your butt, you should be good. You know, it's naturally cushioned. Naturally. That's hilarious, dude. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm just trying to work a few things here, but here we go. So we got Khalil Mack. I saw earlier in the game that he was holding his left arm and then was heading into the locker room. Man, he looked in a lot of pain, but his arm is all. Not only is it wrapped up, but it's in a sling. So something tells me he is going to be definitely out of this game, but also going to be might be out for a couple of weeks. Is he throwing it to Lad McConkey? No, it's Johnston with a touchdown. That's just rude. Heck of a freaking throw. Great freaking route, man. Jesus. That's like something you see out of Madden. Um, yeah, that was just a simple. Oh, okay. I thought it was just coming from the right side, running like a post route. But no, man, that was a nice move. Faked like it was going to be a post route, and then cut it to the left sidelines. All right, man. Chargers are pulling away in this game just a bit. Cue the full house. How rude. Yeah, man. For right now, for the Chargers, man, they're happy. They are happy as heck. They're singing that Full House theme music. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a place, somebody who needs you. Hot dang. Yeah, so far this has been a pretty good game for the Chargers, man. The running game has looked solid. Passing game clearly working for them. They are, I mean, obviously with a big win here, they have a 2 game advantage plus, at this point, the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, which I do apologize, Dave. Uh, but yeah, man, to be able to take a 2 game lead against the Chiefs in the division would be huge. You beat the Chiefs, you beat the Raiders, 0-2, sorry, 2-0 to start the season, not only as a full record, but against division rivals. Gonna be pretty huge. Sad faced panda. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to bring it up in that way, but just 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 trying to talk about the overall impact of this potential win for the Chargers as long as they don't end up charging the game here. Which you have to wonder what's going to give first, the Raiders raidering or the Chargers charging. It's gonna be an interesting answer here. Also, the fact that Herbert never targeted McConkey on that drive is disrespectful. You know. So yeah, right now Chargers with 42 yards on the ground, 126 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. And the Raiders have actually been pretty solid on the ground here. They got 51 yards on the ground. Geno Smith, not a whole lot through the air. Does have the 1 interception as well. 50-50 ball on that. So the secret answer is they tie. That'd be hilarious. That truly would be the Chargers charging and the Raiders raidering. Holy cow, we got 6 viewers in here, man. Please make sure you leave a like, subscribe, man. We try to do as many games as we can throughout the season right now. So if you're looking forward to that, man, please leave a like, subscribe. Trying to get to 100 before October, man. We're just hanging out. We're just we did the Buccaneers and the Texans earlier in the game, early in the day, but we're just kind of hanging out, talking about football. Pat Inhaler, what's up, man? I like your Tiger Lily painting. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. Got that secondhand from a local artist in my area, man. Thank you, thank you. So which do you prefer, foot or ball? Um, I mean, everybody likes a good foot, but you can do a little bit more with a ball, including intercepting the ball here, like we just saw. Hello, Lucelle. What's up, man? Glad to have you guys here. Yeah, we're watching the Raiders and Chargers here, but we're not doing anything too crazy. We're just hanging out. Yeah, we got some great people in the chat as well, man. So, yeah, yeah. But who's your guys' team? Let me know. Let me know. We got David in the chat. He's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Packer fan. If you couldn't tell. But yeah, let me know your teams. Let me know your teams. right. Packer fan, eh? Me too. Gonna be a good season. I can feel it because you know football's all about feeling. It's true, man. No, man. It's the Packers have looked really, really good through two games, man. That defense through 2 weeks has looked arguably like the best defense they've had in since 2011. They had a good defense in 2016, and I think in 2020 they had a really good defense with the Smith brothers, and that, but they lacked the ability to stop the run during that season. But this season, man, they can stop the run. They can get that to the quarterback. Good coverage. Yeah, man. And then you couple that with the potential that they have on offense. They look through 2 weeks. They look like one of the most complete teams in the NFL. Uh, Ball talk, but you ain't even gonna comment on the size of said balls. Well, I just leave that to the imagination, man. I leave that to the imagination. If I put a number on it, it's either gonna be too much or too little for some people. So I don't want to alienate the audience. So, you know, I always say it's like horror, man. It's like horror movies. You don't want to show the monster. Just it's always a little bit. It's always better if it's mental. And David, I also root for the Packers. That is true. Yes, David is also a Packer fan, my friend. Sorry about that, dude. Chris Lasso, Packers are looking great. Michael Parsons is a effing monster. Yes, he is, man. He's literally from the first snap against the Detroit Lions. The first snap, he made a pressure on Goff, forced an interception later in that game, and then obviously ran him down for a great freaking sack. So, yeah, let's go. How good do they look? Like we talking 6'5", 270? And we got Young. I never thought about it like that. Damn, game is game. Hey, yeah, you got to, man. You got to. Nice little run by the Chargers. It'll be a first down across the 10 down to about the 12. Pat Inhaler, Michael Parson wants to know your location. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I gotta keep Micah Parsons in the game, man. If he starts focusing on me, he's not gonna bring down these quarterbacks. But yeah, man. Hey, appreciate you guys popping in here, man. Thank you. Yeah, dude. We do as many games as we can throughout the season, man. We did 6 games last week. We did 5 this week, and we're gonna be probably doing about the same amount next week, man. So if you guys are looking forward to that, man, make sure you stick around, leave a like, subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers before October, man. But I appreciate you guys regardless, man. I appreciate you guys bouncing in here, man, hitting up the chat. Yeah, we're just talking. We're just talking football. We're just hanging out today. Nothing too crazy. All right, man. That's gonna be the end of the first half here, man. The Chargers on top, 17-6 over the Raiders. They're looking good on offense, and that defense making plays. Since when is Peter Schrager a sideline reporter? Because Peter Schrager, he was with the NFL Network for a while, wasn't he? Huh. It's just weird. I don't think I've ever seen him on the sidelines. So, yeah, but continue to talk about the Packers, man. Like I said, their offense, man, they haven't played a complete game yet. They've gone each game they've gone long stretches without scoring. and really moving the ball effectively. But they like to push the ball down the field, man. They got the weapons, unless they unfortunately they lost Jaden Reed last week against the Commanders, or I should say this week actually. Um, and on top of that, broken collarbone. Luckily, he will be back this season. I wish he would have gotten that touchdown though, man. But of course, freaking penalties, having to wipe that one away. But luckily, they've drafted a lot of receivers uh, the last couple of years, so they're deep in weapons, man. And that defense just continues to look better. Micah Parsons is. It's going to be interesting how he continues to grow in this scheme. Jeff Halfley just looks like a guy that just kind of is willing to let these guys play the way that they want. He wants them to be aggressive. I think when Halfley was hired, they asked him kind of what is the defense like. What's your philosophy in terms of coverage? And he basically said he's like, listen, man, I would rather get be aggressive and get beat deep and trying to make a play than just to sit back there and just let them just eat away at the clock and then score a touchdown anyway. So yeah, man, it's gonna be really fun to see this defense, man. I know there's gonna be weeks where they may not be as dominant as they were. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, they just continue to just destroy offenses. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of like playing chess with this team, man. Jeff Halfley is gonna have to adjust. The defense looked good at the begin last year, and then in the middle they started to kind of the schemes started to have to be changed a little bit. Teams were kind of harping on the outside coverage quite a bit, and then Jeff Halfley kind of tightened things up again just before the playoffs. They started playing some of their better ball, but then they just ran into a freaking buzzsaw against the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, man, Gino has played rough in this game, man. 11 and 19, 97 yards, and two interceptions. Obviously, throwing a pick there just before the half. Herbert's having a pretty decent game, man. 9 of 14, 133, two touchdowns through the air, leading rusher, 28 yards. Usually not a decent sign for your team when the quarterback's rushing, but right now, man, it's working for him. Doesn't help that Geno Smith is just throwing picks. And Chris, David, you guys still there, buddy? You guys are still there? Let me know. Let me know. Man, the third down efficiency of this game is rough, man. Raiders under 50, Chargers right at 50. Packer Nation 12, what's going on, man? What's up, brother? How you doing? How was your Monday, man? Did you get a chance to watch any of the games tonight? Hopefully this game picks up. Watch the entire first game. The ending was good. Absolutely, man. For sure, man. That was a wild finish. It started out really good. Each team scored on their first two drives, but then the defense really started to take over for both teams. But I was not too surprised, man. Like I said, like I had a feeling once Baker got in that Tampa offense got the ball back, I just had a feeling that they were going to be able to get down the field. Don't get me wrong. When it was fourth down and he was about to get sacked, I was like, "Oh, this is it." But yeah, man, Baker able to slide out of that out of that sack, and then just pick up some big yardage. But yeah, man, wild finish. But yeah, man, do you have a game that you're looking forward to next week outside of the Packer game? Just sitting here waiting for the Packers to play again. I feel you, man. I feel you. It's good that they're getting some rest, man, because I feel like they needed it. But man, dude, it's a long 10 days between when they play on Thursday and they gotta play again on another Sunday. So Ravens Lions. Oh yes, absolutely, man. It's a Monday night game, right? Let me see here. Yep, Monday night. Oh my God, hold on. I was just looking at Sunday night. Chiefs Giants. What the? Well, that's New York right there, because they're sure as heck should not be in. The Giants should not be in prime time, man. But it is the New York market, so yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a awkward week 3, man. Outside of that Packer game, there aren't many games that I'm really truly interested in. Saints and Seahawks, eh. Cowboys and Bears could be interesting, simply for the memes. So yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, outside the Packer game, man, Lions and Ravens is probably the most exciting game out of Week 3. Chiefs and Giants, I don't know, man, but yeah, Chiefs by 20. Ah, you're being generous to the Giants. No, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening. The Giants are, I mean, once again, they put up points. I'm not going to argue, especially in week 2. They looked, offensively, they looked good. Defensively, they looked really, really rough. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's a game that should give the Chiefs a chance to get right on the season. Yeah, that's a game that should get the Chiefs back in the winning column in 2025. All right. Chargers on offense here, and they hand it off to O'Marion Hampton, who will be knocked down for a loss of 2. I'm a Ravens fan next Monday. Let's go. Heck yeah, man. I'm a big fan of Lamar, man, so I hope that guy eventually does win a title. I think there's still a lot of people that, for some reason, want to see him fail. I don't understand it. But yeah, man. So I just hope he doesn't win it before Love has, 2 or 3. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not saying that he needs to win 7 like Tom Brady. But yeah, if Love can win 3 Super Bowls, then after a while, I'll let the Ravens, I'll let the Bills, win a Super Bowl, and just for David's Stegosaurus' sake, I'll give Pat Mahomes one more Super Bowl. That way he can get to 4. That way he's on par with Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw. But then after that, I want Love to win 2 more, to make it an even 5. Johnston with a catch across the 50 there. So Chargers continue to move the ball on this Raiders defense, man. I could see the Bears beating the Cowboys. I could too, for sure. I think the Cowboys defense has looked very susceptible this season, which which is unfortunate, man. I feel like they finally got healthy, especially in the secondary. They got some guys back that they were missing last year or that ended up getting hurt last year, but it doesn't seem to have been able to fix some of the bigger issues that they had. They're still giving up big chunks in the run game. And then the secondary seems to be just a little bit slower than we've seen. They've definitely gotten older over the last, 4 to 5 years, man. So it's unfortunate, man. So hopefully the Cowboys and the Bears can give us a decent game, because that might be a game that I have to stream for 3 o'clock. Yeah, because it's going to be the Packers on a noon game. Then I have to pick one of these games, and I think it's just because it's going to be showing in my market. It might be the Cowboys and Bears. Then we're going to be doing Giants and Chiefs, and then Ravens and Lions. Let me see here. I do believe Love will win 2 Super Bowls. I hope so too, man. Um, he has the ability, man. He has the arm. He has the talent to win and I think he's getting better in terms of being able to attack the defense mentally as well. No Jaden Daniels next week. Yeah, yeah, I heard that, man. I heard they're gonna shut him down for maybe a week or two just to make sure that he's fully healthy, which is not the, which I think is the right move, especially a guy that young. I think the Commanders are learning from what happened to RG3. You know, granted like a decade ago, but still, you know, like sometimes you just gotta say, hey man, we know that you could play, but it's not worth losing you for the season or potentially ruining your career because of an injury. You know, take a week, take two, get healthy, and then come back. Wait, do the Commanders already have a bye? Oh no, they don't. No, sorry. No, they play the Raiders on Sunday. So yeah, that should be. It's actually not a bad time for them to actually rest Daniels if they have to. Yeah, because he looked hurt at the end of that Packer game, man. He looked like he was kind of struggling to move at times. I think Raiders pick it up in the second half. I hope so too, man. This way it'll make the game a little bit more interesting. Yeah, Geno Smith just has to take care of the ball a little bit more. I know he's trying to force it down the field just a little bit here to try to get the offense started. But you gotta pick and choose when you throw those kinds of passes, man. Especially against the Chargers this season. The Chargers have a different feel to them. Like legitimately, once again, maybe I'm falling for it. Maybe maybe I'm like a Chargers fan. This could be the year that they finally take a little bit of a step forward and maybe get out of the Chiefs' shadow just a little bit in the division. Herbert over the middle. Oh, baby. Inside the 10-yard line down to about the 6. David Stegosaurus, I want a pick 6. I mean, Gino's throwing a lot of picks, man. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them starts to go to the house. I have Raiders winning next week. There's some holes in the Commies defense. It's Swiss cheese. Ooh. Woo. Yeah, they looked old. I think they have the oldest defense in the NFL. And unfortunately, they looked like the oldest defense in the NFL against the Packers. All right, Lad McConkey in motion, and dang it, they're going to have to blow a timeout here. I picked Commies. Sorry, never mind. Let me see here. I picked Commies to win next week, but I made that pick before the season started. That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, losing your starting quarterback will definitely change the feel that you have on those picks. I feel like there's going to be a run here. Yep. Oof. Well, Marion Hampton knocked down right at the line, but he was able to fall forward for some yardage. Nearly got into the end zone. Yeah, the only slightly good thing about the Chargers getting a lead here is that Genty should not get too many carries. But he's a pretty damn good back. I wouldn't be surprised if they start using him in the passing game quite a bit. Yeah, it's gonna be a weird season for the Commanders for sure. I'm Part of me feels like they might take a slight step back, and it's not because they're gonna be necessarily uh, worse. It's more of I think they're still transitioning that defense into what they really want it to look like. I think the Lattimore trade has not worked out as as much as they would have hoped it would have. I think he's been pretty average for a starting corner for them. Why are they running the ball? Throw the ball to Lad McConkey. Get him in the end zone. Come on. That was a great job by the Raiders, man. Um, but yeah, I think that defense is still transitioning. There's a reason why they have like guys like Bobby Wagner starting for them, and as well as Von Miller. Is I think they haven't been able to really draft in the correct way to be able to bring some more young talent to that defense. And Dicker the kicker makes it a 14-point lead here. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully Daniels can get back healthy. Hopefully he only misses 1 week because I think the Commanders are a significantly better team when he's healthy, especially. Dicker the kicker. It's one of my favorite names to say when they're kicking field goals, man. Dicker the kicker. Hope that man has a long career. You know what? Let's change the lights to the current teams here. See what we can do. Got one. Dang. See, this is the tough part about the Raiders. They're black and they're black and silver. I don't have a color like that. Hmm. Hmm. It's about as close as I can get. It's about as close as I can get. There we go. We need the Commanders to beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, but not win too many games. I agree, sir. Either way, or leave it off, or go with the white. I think I'm gonna go with the white. It almost, I mean, it starts to look like a little bit of a silver at the top there, a little bit. All right. There we go. Not bad. All right. It worked out. It worked out. All right. Raiders. Raiders on the return. Getting it down to the 34. The blue is pretty lackluster. I know, man. I'm sorry, man. It's just no, no, no. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, jeez. The disrespect. The disrespect. I think this is gonna be as close as we can get it, man. Yeah. Though I just figured out that I can do basically like a dolphin's color here, so that's always nice. Though I do like the orange, man. The orange is always pretty darn good. So, yeah, whatever. It's all right. High snap. Quick throw. Nearly picked off again. If he had a step on that, that was going for 6, man. Man, this Chargers secondary has been aggressive. Handoff. Genty. Stop breaking tackles. That's rude. Dang it. All right, man. All right, Gino, man, under center here. Fakes the toss, rolling to his left. Gets one of his receivers and will be brought down. Oh my goodness, David, man. any shot, any shot you can get on the Chargers, man, or the Raiders, you'll take it, man. I respect you. I respect you, my man. Let me see here. I want to know what happened to Khalil Mack. Gino looking, scrambling. He's gonna try to run. He'll pick up about 2 yards on the scramble there. Yeah, it looks like it was a nasty elbow injury for Khalil Mack. It looks like he got caught in between like a tackle, so not good. Not good. Good pocket, gets it out. And Genti brought down after a gain of two. Yeah, we got to keep the Raiders off the field here, man, offensively. It has not been good for me when the Raiders are on the field offensively. I just need Lad McConkey to score one freaking touchdown in this game, and then I should be fine. Uh, oh, great. Burrows is now catching passes, too. Dang it. Jesus. The Raiders are looking a lot better in the second half here, man. I think they're doing a good job of being able to kind of neutralize the pressure that the Chargers want. Obviously, losing Khalil Mack is a big step for them. Is a big help, I should say. Sorry, a big help for them. But they're moving Gino around. They're kind of moving the pocket just a little bit and kind of forcing these pass rushers to kind of move to pick a side. Yeah, Gino taking a hit after he threw. Genti with a carry, and it'll be either a loss of one or right at the line of scrimmage. Your party things. A pirate's life for me. Arr. All right, man. This third quarter went pretty darn quick, man. Let's see here. So yeah, looking ahead next week, man. Like I said, week 3 is gonna be a weird week because there's not a ton of great storylines just yet. So we got Thursday. It'll be Dolphins and Bills. Obviously, the Bills will be favored to win that one. This is going to be the game if the Dolphins get blown out like the Jets. There's a good chance we could see some some pressure, some heat on that on Daniels as a head coach for sure. If there already isn't any, which there definitely probably is. But yeah, that should be an interesting one. Then you get the Bengals and Vikings. Obviously the storyline will be that both of these starting quarterbacks for both of these teams got injured in week 2, and we don't know what to expect. Texas and Jaguars. Jags are 1-1. They've looked pretty decent even in a loss. Houston, we saw tonight, kind of got going at the end, but still just a little dysfunctional than what you would want from a team that has had borderline Super Bowl aspirations for the last couple of years, especially just because of how young and talented they seem on paper. The Colts, who are 2-0, they've looked dang good through 2 weeks, and they're going up against one of the worst teams in the NFL in the Tennessee Titans. The Titans were doing okay for the most part against the Rams up until the end there. Fortunately, a fumble sack, and then just really struggling to move the ball. And Gino nearly throws another pick, but it's going to be a penalty on the Chargers here for jumping the gun just a little bit. I'm surprised they let the play run all the way through. All right, and then you got the Raiders, Commanders. Obviously, we're watching the Raiders now. They have now looked amazing. The Commanders are going to be without Jaden Daniels. The defense has some questions for sure. And then the Rams and the Eagles, it depends on what type of defense we get from the Rams. Do we get the defense that is going to be one of the best front sevens in football, as well as what offense are we going to see? Are we going to see Matthew Stafford really be able to utilize all of his weapons as well as get the running game going with Kyron Williams and Corum? Or are we going to see the team that can't really run the ball for some reason? Matthew Stafford is not on the same page as his receivers, and that defensive front seven for the Rams struggles, and they just get steamrolled by the Eagles. So it's a little bit of a question there. We know where we're going to get with the Eagles. They still haven't been able to figure out how to pass the ball to their weapons. Devontae Smith has been okay, but not great. And then A.J. Brown has barely been able to get anything going this season. David, I hope the Rams win 33-19 with 2 pick sixes in the last 5 minutes of the game. Why so specific? Gino trying to find his guy over the middle of the field. Thankfully, the Chargers defense is holding strong right now. Oh, that was a spin move? Oh boy. Whoo! A heck of a play by the Chargers, and it looks like one of their corners is hurt. Hart is down, and he walks to the sidelines. That was a really good catch by the Raiders there. All right, moving on. Falcons and Panthers. That is Falcons should probably win just based off of their defense, but that offense was rough on Sunday night, man. Uh, Bryce Young and that Panthers offense unfortunately doesn't look like they were able to pick up any momentum from last season. So yeah, that should hopefully be a good game, but that could be an ugly game to watch. Thankfully, we will not be streaming that game. Next, we have the Steelers versus the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers trying to bounce back after a tough loss in Week 2, where we saw him start yelling at his teammates, which is as a Packer fan that just feels like a nice little warm blanket. The NFL is normal again with Rodgers angry and yelling at everybody, including his own teammates. But that should be a pretty interesting game, though. The Patriots should be able to put up some points and yards against that Steelers defense that has not played to its price tag. Let's just say that. Packers and Browns. Hopefully the Packers are rested and they do not overlook the Browns. Hopefully they don't play down to their competition and are able to continue to keep on rolling. And hopefully that offense can finally kind of get on track, fully put 4 quarters all together. So Jets and Buccaneers. The Buccaneers should win that game. They have a really good defense, and their offense can put up points, while the Jets are just continuing to look like the Jets of old. Broncos, Chargers. Broncos are coming off a tough loss, man. They looked like they were going to get a win, and then the Colts were just slowly but surely just whittling away at that 8-point lead until they got the win. Chargers, they look so far through 7 quarters in this young NFL season, they look like a team that could compete in the playoffs. So that should be a good matchup. Saints and Seahawks. Seahawks should win. Saints do not look like a good team. Look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. They can't get anything going offensively, and their defense is pedestrian at best. Cowboys and Bears. I think we talked about this one a little bit just a couple 20 minutes ago. Cowboys should win just based off of the players that they have, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears were able to really run the ball well with DeAndre Swift. Caleb Williams could probably have some time to throw in this game because the Cowboys don't have a pass rush. So that one should be up in the air. And then Cardinals 49ers. Without Brock Purdy, I don't know. The 49ers did get a win. They looked pretty solid. They still have Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall. They still have some weapons. They have a pretty okay defense as well. But the Cardinals have looked good at times this season through the first 2 weeks. Granted, one game was against the Panthers. So, Chiefs and Giants. Chiefs should win. I don't think it's going to be a super dominant win, but they should win against the Giants. I don't care how many points the Giants put up, man. That defense looks bad through 2 weeks, and that offense is just chucking balls deep and hoping that they catch it. And then finally, Lions and Ravens. That probably should be the biggest matchup of Week 3. Yeah, that one is, I don't know. That one is going to be a fun one to watch. That could have been a great Super Bowl matchup last year if both of these teams would have made it that far. So that's going to be my favorite game, I think, to watch outside of the Packer game, hopefully. So yeah. Freaking Pete Carroll, 74 years old, still running down the sidelines, man. Oldest coach in NFL history, man. 3/4 of a century on this earth, almost. All right, man. Chargers get a touchback here. So they will start with the ball in some decent field position. Let's get it to Lad McConkey. Come on, let's go. All we need is a touchdown for Lad McConkey. Come on. All right, man. Hot diggity dog, man. What a week two, man. We picked up some. I mean, we called some pretty good games this week, man. We only had that one downer on Sunday, and even then, that was fairly entertaining towards the end. Great chat during that game as well. Chris, how many more points do you need from him? So I'm actually in the lead. So technically, I don't need more points. I just need to make sure that Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers don't score any more. I have a 5.5 lead right now. 5.5. I have a win probability of 78%, but I don't feel comfortable with that. So honestly, if like I said, if Lad McConkey can score a touchdown, so that would be a point for a reception, 6 points for a touchdown, and whatever yardage, that would immediately jump up my lead to at least double digits, which would be a little bit comfortable, especially since we're already in the fourth quarter. So yeah, whoa, man, what am I doing today? This is the second time I've moved the camera. Yeah, too close to. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I'm just hoping Herbert can get his stuff together, man. Lad McConkey's been open a couple times. I'm once again, I'm obviously kind of tongue in cheek talking about this. Like, do these guys give a crap about my fantasy team? No, and they shouldn't. But still, throw it to Lad McConkey. Okay. Um, but yeah, man, it's fantasy football. Like when it comes to this stuff, man, I never take it too seriously. Whether it's fantasy football or just football in general, I always like to keep things in perspective. But yeah, but I do like winning, man. I'm a competitive person in general. Um, I don't like to lose. It's one thing if I'm playing my nephews or nieces. Yeah, I'm gonna let them win. You let kids win. But yeah, man, it could be at the bar playing pool, or it could be just anything. I want to win. I'm a competitive person. I like to compete. They should care. Thank you, David. Thank you. Right. The Raiders are being rude. They're passing balls to Brock Bowers and giving carries to Ashton Genty, and the Chargers don't want to throw to Lad McConkey. Both of these teams are rude. I understand why you're a Chiefs fan now. Both of these teams suck, and they're making my life miserable right now. All right. But yeah, man. Play action underneath to the running back. Get the first down. Come on, keep this drive going. Let's go. There you go. There you go. First down. Charges. Ball at the 41. And that is the former Pittsburgh Steeler, Najee Harris. Oh, we got a spin move. We got a spin move. I didn't even notice it. Holy cow. Now you got it. Now you get it. I saw the light. I saw the light. And we got a spin move too, man. Let's freaking go. Came from Najee Harris. That was a that was a weird little play there that did not work. There's a late flag. Jeez. Almost knocked over the keyboard there. It looks like it's going to be. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an illegal formation. Oh, never mind. Sorry. I thought they were saying there's too many guys on the line, but I was like 7. They could put 7 on there, but never mind. Sorry. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 41. Score is 20-9. Lad McConkey with a catch and nearly breaks it. Dang it. Ah. Literally. Shoestring tackle. Damn it. All right, we got 3rd and 1 coming up here. Nearly intercepted. What the heck was that? Holy cow, man. Justin Herbert. It literally looked like he was trying to throw it to the defender, man. What the heck? That was rough. That was rough. I don't think he saw him, man. I don't think he saw 57 there. Almost a disastrous play for the Chargers. All right, Chargers are going for it. They fumble the ball. Oh, no. Oh, no. What the heck was that, man? It's supposed to be kind of a little bit of a direct snap to a receiver that was going to the left sidelines, and they muffed the handoff. Wow. That's attempted chargering. Yeah, it went from a bad almost interception to just a terrible, terrible designed and executed play. I mean, the play might have been a good design, but I mean, even if they didn't muff the freaking handoff there, it doesn't look like it was going to be going for positive yardage. And that's chargering. that was a full on charging play right there, man. That was rough. And I ain't talking about what the dog says. So yeah, I think there was a little bit of confusion whether it was supposed to be a direct snap or if it was supposed to be Herbert. Okay. So Herbert was supposed to catch it. It was supposed to be a handoff to 12. But the play, I don't know, man. I don't think it was going to work regardless because the blocking was pretty darn awful by the receiver on that left side. All right, Raiders have great field position here. They're already inside the 45 of the Chargers. And Brock Bowers catches a pass. Ah. Swear to God, I hate the Chargers right now. Gino dropping back, looking, throws deep, and is nearly intercepted, overthrowing. Is that Jacoby Myers? Who was about as wide open as you can get in the NFL. Jesus. Yeah, there was like nobody within like 8 yards of Jacoby Myers. He just overthrew it. Yeah, Gino has to make that throw, man. Like even if you slightly underthrow it, but you throw a little bit of air under it, Jacoby should be able to adjust to it. But man, dude, you cannot miss like that. Gets it underneath to the 20, to the 15. And it's a first down for the Raiders. Maybe they can get a pick six. Brock Bowers fumbles it, would that help you? Yes. I think you lose 2 or 4 points for a fumble. Ooh, batted at the line. I do like that Gino is targeting Myers. Let's just keep it to Myers, all right? Like Oscar Mayer Wiener, whatever. Who anybody that's named Myers can catch a pass. That's not an issue. Not a great snap. Gets it out to Genty, who will pick up a point but lose yardage. So, Fortunately, this stream just became about my fantasy league, so I do apologize, guys. Yeah, that big loss there, bringing it back to the 20. Loss of 5 yards on that throw to the swing pass. All right, 3rd and 15. Gino throws it down the field, and it's intercepted in the end zone, trying to get it to Jacoby Myers. Tight coverage. Ball was batted, popped up into the air, and picked off. And that is another interception for Geno Smith. That is his 3rd one of the night. Derwin James, one of the best players at his position. is a guy that able to break up the pass and get a basically a tip drill. Chris, another INT. Yes, sir. That was a rough one for Gino, man. It's been a rough night. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Man, dude, I appreciate you guys sticking around, man. Like I said, I was thinking about like, hey, maybe I'll stream for like, 30 minutes to an hour. We'll just kind of talk some football and then we'll call it a night. But yeah, man, I did not plan because I wasn't sure if I could see this game, so I didn't want to promise something. So now that I know that I can watch some ESPN stuff, we will definitely plan for that in the future. Honestly, if Ladd can get a long catch and Herbert throws a pick six, I wouldn't be entirely disappointed. You know what? I appreciate you, man. And I agree. I agree. Let's hope Ladd McConkey takes like a 70-yarder to the 1 yard line, and then on the next play, pick six with a spin move. Even though we got one already, but we'll take another spin move. You can never have too many spins in a move. Oh Jesus, man! Why are they putting the camera on Gino when he's looking like that? They did my man dirty on that one. That's disrespectful. All right, nice run on first down makes it second and three, and I believe that's Najee Harris trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think he lost a yard on the run. This late in the game, I really lean into let's see some chaos when it comes to these two teams going head to head. Yeah, absolutely, man. We always need a little chaos at the end of the games, except when it's my team or our teams, I should say. You know, it's gonna work too hard on the heart, man. It's gonna. Ooh. Oh my gosh! Incomplete on third down, and the Chargers are gonna punt this one away. Trying to target Allen. You know who wouldn't have dropped that pass? And I know what you're thinking. You're going to be like, yeah, it's Ladd McConkey. No. Yeah, no, it was Ladd McConkey. I was going to say Ladd McConkey. In comes J.K. Scott, former Green Bay Packer punter and draft pick. Did not have a great career for the Packers. I was let go after 3 seasons in Green Bay. but he's made a good career in his time with LA, man. He's I've seen his name pop up on like special teams player of the week a couple of times for the Chargers over the years. Let me see here. Maybe the Raiders will muff the punt. Chargers recover and then pick six. We can only hope, my man. We can only hope. All right, man. Looks like we're coming back from the commercial break here. Looks like they're highlighting Derwin James, man. Derwin James has been a pretty dang good player for a long time. I'm pretty sure he came out of the same draft that Jair Alexander did. So I'm pretty sure the Packers, I think it was after Derwin James was drafted, the Packers traded back. Because I think that was a player that the Packers were looking at. They needed secondary help and they needed a safety. But so I guess you're looking for a fumble by Genty on the drive. I'm looking for anything, man. Looking for anything. But yeah, man. I mean, at this point, as long as they don't get, as long as Browers and Genty don't get really any looks in these final 4 minutes and 9 seconds, we should be good. I do have the lead in my fantasy matchup, man. I just need these guys not to catch passes, and there goes Brock Bowers catching the pass. Being rude. Always being. See, David, you're right, man. The Raiders suck. Oh, ball is batted down. Great coverage by the Chargers on that one, forcing a 4th and 3. No, but I'm just kidding, Raiders. You guys are fine. You guys are fine. Unless you make me lose my fantasy matchup, then yeah, I won't like you. And on 4th and 3, obviously the Raiders are going to go for it. They're down by two scores here. They're going to need to get as many plays in as they can. The Chargers will use a timeout here. Just lose, baby. Dude, what is going on with these lights? Hmm. All right, 4th and 3. This could be the game. Gino in the shotgun, receiver in motion, single receiver to the right side. Chargers only send 3. Send a late runner, and he's down for a sack. And Geno Smith's night just keeps getting worse. A delayed blitzer that is Henley. Sorry, not Henley. Oh, is it Henley? Yes, Henley. Jeez. Henley, number 0, man. Delayed blitz. He waited, and waited for that. I believe it was the left guard to engage in a block. Number 66. Took his eyes off the pass rusher, man. Just a bad decision. Wow. Just lose, baby. Fumble! Oh my god, the Raiders have it. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, it's like freaking torture, dog. Max Crosby literally runs through half of the freaking offensive line to make the rookie running back fumble the ball. He actually didn't even, well, Marion Hampton didn't even secure the ball first. Oh my god. I don't even care about this matchup. This has no bearing on the Packers, and I'm so slightly stressed. The ball is popped in the air, and it's nearly intercepted. What is wrong with the Chargers? What is wrong with the Raiders? They nearly threw a pick. That would have been Geno's 4th. It was why? Why Chargers fans, Raiders fans, why? Why? This is like the Packers have lost some ugly games, playoffs, regular season. I've never felt this much anxiety. And I don't even care about this matchup. Jesus. Throw to the left sideline. Jacoby Myers catches it. The clock continues to roll. Oh my goodness. Chargering. Absolutely. And Raidering. Oh my God. Brock Bowers nearly caught a incredible one-handed catch down the field. I am literally only up by 3 points. Less than 3.5 points. Less than 3.5 points. Oh my God. All right, Geno in the shotgun, receiver in motion, running back to his right. Looking, pressured, running, and stays on his feet. Please do not throw it to anybody. All right, throws it out of bounds after all of that. Geno Smith is like looking at his teammates like, what are we doing, man? Come back. Give me something to throw to, man. Oh, man. Yeah, none of his teammates, man. None of his teammates came back to him. Wow. All right, well, the Chargers are back on the field. Thank goodness, man. Handoff. They didn't fumble this time. Oh man, absolutely torturous to watch this freaking game, man. Yeah, but once again, man, I was not planning to stream the game. I probably should have created a scoreboard at some point. So my apologies, guys. We will, like I said, I will be more prepared in the future with, especially if they do a doubleheader on Monday night. Especially now that I know that I can actually watch some ESPN stuff, so that'll be good. First down for the Chargers. Keenan Allen over the middle, just getting enough on the catch there. So but to be honest with you, it was actually kind of nice to just kind of be casual about watching football, man. I really haven't watched a game without having to be on in a while. I think the last time was like week 1 of last year before I started streaming. So it was nice, man. This was a nice little reprieve. Here's hoping for a lad TD. Let's go. Luckily, we don't need a touchdown, but it'd be nice to have one. Be nice to have one. All right, man. Raiders do stop the clock. They are out of timeouts. They stop it at 2:09. It is a 2nd and 6 for the Chargers, man. Another first down, and that'll be all she wrote. Herbert under center. Another handoff. This one cuts it upfield. First down, and that is the game. That is it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Freaking wow, man. Oh no, there's a freaking flag. Can this game just end? I feel like I'm in purgatory. False start on the Chargers. And that's going to be on the first round pick, the left tackle, Joe Alt. Oh, man. Fakes the handoff. Justin Herbert running, slides inside the 20. Will get it to the 2-minute warning. Holy cow, man. Oh man. I'm just happy I don't think we'll be doing too many Raiders or Chargers games throughout the season. We probably do like at least one more for each, but holy cow, man, it is It is it is wild what these teams do, man. Just the turnovers, the weirdest times. But yeah, man, hot dang, dude. Like I said, I appreciate you guys sticking through this game. Like I said, I wasn't planning on it, but worked out pretty well, man. It's otherwise I'd be just torturing myself alone, worrying about this fantasy matchup here. So that's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. All right, we got 3rd and 6 here. Handoff up the middle, and it's a first down for the Chargers. Quick snapped it, and Najee Harris able to just absolutely barrel through. Wow, man. Woo, I feel like this game owes us one more good spin move. It would have been nice if Najee threw a little spin at the end of that one. Just but wow, man. Raiders get a tough loss here. Chargers, I know they won by 11. It was a 2 possession game, but feels like they almost escaped disaster there after that fumble. And I escaped my matchup, man. I am going to win by less than 3 points. Less than 3 points. And I only had one guy playing today. My opponent had three. It was going to be close, man. But your boy is 2-0 to start the year. Let's go, man. Just like Green Bay, baby. Me and Green Bay, we're going undefeated this year. They're winning the Super Bowl. I'm winning my fantasy league. It's meant to be. All right, football gods, I'm joking, all right? Don't take revenge on me, please. All right? Please. Be nice. Because I know how the football gods are. If you don't let them know that you're joking, they'll be like, all right, we'll throw a little curveball. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know, as an NFL owner, you know, I gotta tell you, now it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. The boys, they did the work. You know, they got us the win. No, man. Heck of a game. Freaking wild twists and turns here for both of these teams. And the Chargers are now 2-0. They are atop the AFC West through 2 weeks. 2 big victories in their division, and they're gonna keep on rolling, man. I think they have the Broncos next week. That should be a pretty good matchup. Like I said, Denver needs to kind of fix their offense. Their defense looked okay in week one and then looked rough against the Colts, giving up 29 points. And I know they looked rough because they're also my freaking fantasy defense. They lost me 5 points. Um, but no, regardless, man, it should be a fun matchup, man. Bo Nix, that offense should hopefully get back on track a little bit, give this Chargers defense a little bit more run for its money. And the Chargers offense, man, at times they looked like they were able to get the ball down the field. They probably didn't put up as many yards or points as they were hoping for, especially after that 17-point first half. But when you're playing a division opponent, man, you take the wins. Doesn't matter how ugly it is. It doesn't matter if you put up 50 points or if you just put up 20. In the division, it's all about winning. Because winning the division, that guarantees you a playoff spot. Yeah, that's how I remember the Packers with McCarthy, they were always first goal of the season. Win the division, and everything else will take care of itself. Oh, we got Lad McConkey giving his jersey to Stokes, former Green Bay Packer first round pick, man. Let's go. Eric Stokes, man. Dude, he looked so good his rookie year, and then the injuries just kind of sapped his momentum, and he just never looked the same. So, dang. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to David. David, you were here all freaking weekend, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. It was a wild weekend. It was a productive weekend. Packers got a win. We're going to see some good football starting with the Bills on Thursday. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going. And then on Sunday, we got the Packers. And then on Monday, we're going to finish with the Ravens and the Lions, which should be a great, great matchup for Monday night. So, yeah, we're going to figure out the other two games on Sunday as we go along. I'll have a post for it hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday once I kind of know what my local channels are showing. But yeah. So thank you so much for this weekend, guys, man. We're the road to 100 subscribers is getting closer and closer, man. We're almost reaching that goal. And then after we reach that goal, guess what? We got another one. So that's how it keeps on going, man. We got to keep pushing the envelope, and I will get better. The streams will get better as well, and we're just going to keep on going, man. So thank you so much. Good night, Chris. David, thank you again, man. Chris, I'll catch you later, brother. Hopefully I can see you next week as well, man. But regardless, hope you guys have a great week, and I will catch you guys on Thursday, man. Thank you for hanging out, man. Let's freaking go. Go, Pack, go.